Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to kind of discuss The Sims 4, and I don't think it's any secret that The Sims 4 has been a point of contention among the simming community since basically before it was even released. There was already a lot of strife online about it. So this is not a unique concept to talk about what I think is lacking in The Sims 4. I think that there's literally hundreds upon hundreds of videos about that already that are probably going to be way better quality than what I can provide. But I do think that as someone who has been playing the game since, I don't know, when I was like 5 maybe. I know I started with The Sims 1, so even though that came out before I was 5, so I don't know, I must have been behind the times. But I've been playing it since the first game, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I think I can offer some insight as to what I believe is wrong with the game and why it is not up to the standards that I expect after, 14 years of playing this game, or at least this game existing. So the first thing I want to go over is the base game, which is kind of a broad topic, but I'll get into it in a second. So with The Sims, especially, I mean, other games are like this too, but The Sims is, probably the leading game of the concept of base game and then expansion packs. But with The Sims, it's very important that it comes out good, because it is going to be the foundation for everything that they do later on with the life cycle of this game. So you have a game like The Sims 1 where, the base game didn't really, it mattered, it was the first game, but we didn't have anything to go off of, so no matter what they gave us, it was going to be great, and whatever expansion packs we got, they were going to be great, because we didn't know what to expect to begin with, so anything was a pleasant surprise. And then with The Sims 2, obviously we all know they did a really good job with that one, and just made the game so much better and more evolved. With The Sims 3 though, and this is what I'm getting into, the base game, I think that shows that it's a good reflection of how the game is going to evolve, because with The Sims 3, it was not a well-optimized base game. They didn't really cover all their bases, they didn't think of the future. So then as they started to add more and more content into the game, since the base game was so poorly optimized, and the engine is just not well set up, I guess. I don't really know a lot about games. The more content that they added, the worse that the game ran. And with The Sims 4, it runs fine. It actually does run really well. I'm not gonna criticize it. That's like one of the things they got really right about that game, is that pretty much anybody can play it. But the way that they set up the base game didn't limit them in that sort of technical aspect, but it limited them in gameplay aspects, because it's a closed base game. Like, there's not a lot of room they left to expand things, because they sort of shut a bunch of doors and locked them shut. They can't go through these doors anymore. So having closed worlds, for example, it makes it so that every single world that they add within expansion pack now is going to be super handcrafted, and it's just going to be like this set that you're on. There's not a lot of customization that's offered to anybody, so if the world that they make with the expansion pack is not good, players don't like that world or receive it well, there's nothing that any of the players can do about that. We can't customize it and go in and change it and make things that we like. And I think that not being able to edit the worlds also highlights another issue with the Sims 4 base game and The Sims 4 in general. This has never been fixed, is there's a real limit in customization now compared to the past games. And I know you're thinking, what are you talking about? You can literally make any sim you want. We have so much more customization of their face, their bodies, the buildings that we create and stuff. But The Sims goes far beyond build and buy mode, and I think people forget that Sims 2 and 3 both had world creators. And I know that you're thinking that's 2, The Sims 1 didn't, obviously, because it was the first game. But so 50% of the Sims games, if you really want to put it that way, 50%, half of the Sims base games had world creators. And so it's a little weird that the newest one doesn't, because you would expect that in 2014 they wouldn't be taking away huge features like that pretty much everybody loved. So that was confusing to me. That's not the only issue though. They also took away creative style, which, yes, this is the problem with me, okay? So I see a lot of people defend The Sims 4 and say that creative style was laggy, and that a lot of the things like open world, create a world, all this stuff was not well optimized, so they're okay with it being gone. To me, that is a horrible mindset to have when going into a game and wanting the series to evolve forward, is to say, this feature wasn't 100% perfect, so I want it to be gone. You should be saying, this feature wasn't 100% perfect, and we deserve to have it become perfect and better, because it's not like it's a bad concept. The creative style is a great concept. The execution wasn't great, but that's why you keep making games, so that you can, perfect different things in the future about the games that were flawed in the past. So I find that a really weird excuse. I also saw that with when they didn't initially have toddlers in the game. People said it was an annoying life state, and I think that's a proof of them actually making it better. But what they do with toddlers, making them more, worthwhile and fun to play with, they should have been doing with every feature that they had in the past games instead of stripping them away because they didn't work perfectly. I find that to be a horrible mindset to go into when you're trying to evolve a game series. Okay, now I want to talk about in the base game all the features that they brought in that are new, because if you look at The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, they brought in a lot of big features. The Sims 2 especially brought in aging, 3D graphics, a more complex build mode, create a sim that was like completely revamped, amazing, never been done before, completely innovative. You could choose the hair separately from the face. We couldn't do that in The Sims 1, so these were big deals. Aspirations, wants, just everything. Personalities were more, unique. Well, not really. It was actually the same as The Sims 2 1 if you think about it, but it showed more in The Sim. And then in The Sims 2 or 3, you had create a style. You had open world, you had, body sliders, straight systems, lifetime wishes that you could choose, a lot of different things. And in The Sims 4, it's kind of hard to pick out the features that are actually new to the game and the ones that they just marketed as new features, because I feel like some of the things they marketed as new are not very new. And so let me explain what I mean by that. So if you look at The Sims 2, because for some reason The Sims 4's marketing campaign really wanted to drive home that The Sims in prior games did not have emotions, complex emotions, or something like that. I don't know. I found it really strange the entire time that they were marketing that, because I remember when I was playing The Sims 2, they would get jealous of each other. They would get furious at each other. Little kids would run into the other room and cry when their parents are fighting. They would they could smash each other's graves, laugh at each other for dying, all this different stuff, like these complex emotions. And, they're all, what do I want to say? They're all situational. So if your sim hated somebody when they died, your sim would laugh at their grave and stuff like that. They wouldn't mourn them. If your sim loved their parents and they were fighting, they would go cry. If they hated their parents and they were fighting, they wouldn't care. So it's really making The Sims a lot more unique and deep and smart, compared to The Sims 4, where I feel like the emotion system is really like laying it all out there. Like, this sim is happy, so she's skipping around town. This sim is angry, so she's stomping. Ooh, I'm mad. This sim is crying or sad, so her lip is quivering as she walks down the street. Like, it's not giving you a lot of room to infer, because it's just shoving it right in your face. And I think that's a flawed system for emotions. And first of all, emotions are not a new concept, so that was the dumbest way they could have marketed a new feature, because it's not new. It's just now they're very obvious and kind of annoying. But the problem with that is, in The Sims 2, because it wasn't so binary of your sim is feeling one emotion at a time, there was a lot more depth to the character, so they could cry about their parents arguing, and then in the same, walking away, they could suddenly be furious at somebody. You could feel more than one emotion at once in real life, but in The Sims 4, it goes by this sort of point system, where however many points you have from your moodlets towards what emotion, that is the emotion they're feeling, and that's the only thing they're feeling. And I don't think that that's smart. I actually think that made The Sims appear less like real people than Sims 2 Sims. Now, another huge marketing feature of The Sims 4 that this thing has been marketed to us every single time that The Sims has released a new base game. Like, smarter Sims, woo! They're gonna be so smart this time. They're never gonna have routing issues. They're never gonna, get stuck on a chair or, die because they can't get past this counter and they starve to death. Like, they're gonna be smart. But they're not. The Sims 4 Sims will literally just stand still until they starve to death with nothing in their way. They won't do anything. Sometimes I've played The Sims 4 and it feels like I don't even have free will on, because they just don't do anything. And the Sims are just so much more interested in having social interaction than taking care of themselves, that often they can die if you leave them unattended. And you would think that they wouldn't if they were so smart, but that's not really the way it goes from what I've experienced myself. Maybe this has been fixed. I don't really play The Sims 4 that much anymore, but in The Sims 2 I know that you can die really easily in that game. But if you look at the jump from The Sims 1 to The Sims 2 and just AI and the intelligence of The Sims, it was huge. It was massive. They had the right to market Smarter Sims for that game because they actually delivered on Smarter Sims. The Sims 4, They really didn't. I don't think that making it so that Sims can phase through each other like ghosts is a way for you to say, oh, the Sims are smarter now. They don't get stuck on each other. No, they walk right through each other. That's not smarter, that's just a cheap fix when you should actually, go in and make them smarter if you really want to market that feature. So the last thing I really want to talk about with The Sims 4, and this is probably something that everybody is aware of already, and most people do agree on this, is that the expansion packs are very, very inconsistent in quality, and to the degree where it sometimes doesn't even feel like you got an expansion pack. And for $40, I just want to remind everybody, there are tons and tons and tons of games for $40 that can offer you, 100 plus hours of gameplay. So I don't like it when people act like $40 is not a lot of money. Oh, it's just an expansion pack, it doesn't have to be huge. No, it kind of does have to offer something a little bit more than what it does offer usually with The Sims 4, because that is a lot of money for most people. And so if you take a direct comparison from an expansion pack that you could get with The Sims 3 that is, the sort of same concept as one that you get with The Sims 4, and I'll compare a few of them. But let's just go over the first one I want to make, and I think this is the easiest way to highlight this issue that we're having with The Sims 4 expansion packs, is The Sims 3 Pets versus The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs. So from the moment that they released the trailer for Cats and Dogs, and the name of the expansion pack alone sort of set me off and made me go, oh boy, here we go. They're really going to be cutting corners on this expansion pack. This is sort of supposed to be like one of the more iconic packs that you get for a Sims game. You're getting pets. But yeah, Cats and Dogs, I could already tell they're limiting it because Cats and Dogs, they're making it pretty obvious what you're getting with it. So in The Sims 3 Pets, you had cats, dogs, horses, lizards, snakes, turtles, they added more fish, they added squirrels, just a ton of different rodents, birds, big birds, small birds. This is all with one expansion pack, and the small pets, yeah, they don't have a ton of features. They sort of do act differently depending on which species they are, but other than that, it's basically, an object. But horses, they had a lot of features with them. They had different skills. Every pet had different skills, traits that they could use. They really fleshed out pet ownership in The Sims beyond what The Sims 2 had already done. And with The Sims 4, you have cats, you have dogs, and if you spend $10 more on a separate pack that you have to have cats and dogs to even get the full, value of, then you can get small pets. But it's not even, what is it? It's some weird, thing that's not even a pet that anybody would want. And it does stupid stuff like shoot off nukes and stuff. Why would you want that? It's really stupid. But yeah, that is $50 just to get 3 pets, and the pets are not as fleshed out. You can create cats and dogs in a lot more detailed of a way than The Sims 3, but The Sims 3 was already super detailed. So to me, it's not like you're losing anything by choosing The Sims 3 Pets over Sims 4 Cats and Dogs. You're only gaining a ton of content. And this can be seen with a lot of the Sims 3 expansion packs versus The Sims 4. So you have ambitions versus get to work. And Get to Work added 3 career paths, and they're very repetitive and boring after a while, but I mean, yeah, The Sims 3 ambitions were too, but you had so many more. You had the stylist, you could be an inventor, you could become self-employed, and all these different things they added. Firefighter, ghost hunter, I can't even remember them all, tattoo artist, there's just so much. And they all had these, different ranks that you can move up and unlock new abilities and just do new things, and it was really fun, and not to mention you get a ton more objects in any Sims 3 expansion pack than you ever would with Sims 4, which is kind of sad considering you need more from The Sims 4 since you don't have create a style, but whatever. I guess that's cool. I'm not someone that needs 1,000 build objects, I just need good gameplay. And The Sims 4 expansion packs really only give you 4 or 5 hours of good gameplay before you've experienced everything. And for $40, no ma'am, that ain't good. That's bad. I think an expansion pack should at least give you 10-15 hours of gameplay before you start to feel like, okay, I've seen pretty much everything I could see. Sims 4, you could fly through that expansion pack and have seen everything. It feels like, wow, the game is exactly the same. I've done everything I can do, time to just go back to living the base game life again. This is a really weird metaphor or analogy that I'm about to make, but I just thought of this and I thought it made really good sense. So imagine you're a kid and you have to pick which cartoon you want to watch for the next 3 months. And there's this really cool cartoon I don't even know what to pick. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which if you've never seen it, go watch it, you stupid plebeian. It is really good. You know, a show where with every new episode, there comes more development to the characters, there's an overarching plot that is, you know, culminating to some end goal. It feels like you're growing as you watch the show, and everything is coming to fruition in a big way. And then you have another cartoon like Scooby-Doo where it's like Monster of the Week, and every episode is sort of isolated and by itself. And after you've watched that episode, you can watch them out of order and nothing changes for you. There's no character development or anything. I feel like, yes, shows like that have a place in television for kids, but it's not something that you would probably pick over, you know, this show that's going to really move you in an impactful way, because it's doing a lot more and it's moving towards something, and you know it's moving towards something that's more exciting. And I feel like you make that comparison between The Sims 3 and The Sims 4, or The Sims 2 and The Sims 4, where with The Sims 4, when they're releasing expansion packs and game packs, it feels like it's sort of the game pack of the week. You know, everybody's excited about it until they're done playing with it and it's gone. No one cares about it anymore because it's just that insubstantial. It feels like an isolated piece of content. Expansion packs in the other games feel like they're building up. It's building the game. It's fleshing it out. You're getting that development of the gameplay. So, I mean, that's a really weird analogy. I know it doesn't really make that much sense, but I thought it was a good way to sort of represent how I feel about it. And yeah. And the last thing that I want to say that really bothers me about The Sims 4 is I feel like we're in this weird state with the series where it's like you have to pick one or the other with these features. You can have this feature or you can have this feature. You can't have it all. And I think that for a game that is the 14 years into the series, you know, it's 2014 when The Sims 4 was released. It's 2020 now when they're releasing more content that is still not up to par. We should have developed so far beyond where we're at. It is ridiculous how stagnant this series has remained in the past 6 years because of The Sims 4, and I think that a lot of people are getting frustrated with that, and I don't think it's a good idea to say, oh, well, we'll add this feature or this feature, here, vote on it, community. No, I think we deserve to have most of the features that we're asking for by this point. You know, a lot of people have invested 20 years of their life into this game, and 20 years worth of, like, probably thousands of dollars they've spent on this game, and it's a little disappointing to see that, yes, we've improved in graphics and certain other aspects like build and buy mode and create a sim, but the gameplay feels a lot more dated now than it did before, and like we're backpedaling in a lot of areas, and I don't understand why anybody could consider that a good place for the series to go. Alright, and to finish off this video, I do just want to say that I know a lot of people who are new to the Sims series lately, they've started with The Sims 4, are not going to understand a lot of the complaints that older people have, and I think that's what's caused a lot of conflict within the community, because you have newer people who started with The Sims 4 who think, wow, this game is great, because yeah, if you start with The Sims 4, you're going to think, wow, this is an awesome game and an awesome concept. But for people that have been playing for 20 years, they kind of know, like, yeah, we've had this concept handed to us before. We're ready to move on to bigger and better things with this game. So I do think that if you are new to the series, you should definitely try playing The Sims 1, Sims 2, or Sims 3, and sort of, you know, just broaden your horizons a little bit and see where we're coming from, because I think that it's going to be hard for the series to develop further if the community is a lot of people that don't know what they're missing out on and what they're sort of not being given by the series right now, because I think it's unfair to everybody that's been playing this game for 20 years for the standards to stay as low as they've gotten with this game. So yeah, hopefully, you know, within the development cycle of this game, I don't know how much longer they're going to be making stuff for this game. Hopefully they can fix it. I seriously doubt that that's ever going to happen. I think this is going to be the lowest point for The Sims, because I can't think of another time where The Sims was at a lower point than this, in my personal opinion, in terms of quality of content. Hopefully The Sims 5 will come out within the next like 2-3 years and it'll blow our socks off, but I'm not going to, you know, hold my breath for that either, because they're making a lot of money with this game and I think they now know what they can get away with. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you enjoyed the video a lot, you can go ahead and subscribe, and hopefully I'll be making more discussion videos about The Sims overall as a series. I have a lot to say, obviously, because this is really a long video of me talking to myself, because I'm crazy. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like The Sims 4, if you don't like it, what you think they should change, what you think they've done right. I'm really interested to hear from more people and sort of have a conversation below. Not a rude conversation, don't even try it, bitches.